Hertel Daggett isn't what he used to be. He'd once been married. He'd once been a physicist. He'd once been shot in the head in a celebratory New Year's Eve accident. Or possibly the 4th of July. He was never quite sure which. He'd been shot in the head after all. The doctors got most of the bullet out, but they missed a few tiny specks of copper that stayed behind, floating inside his brain, connecting parts that aren't connected in the rest of us anymore. Tiny little specks of species memory going back to the beginning of time. Hertel remembered the dry humor of dinosaurs and the rubbery smell of trilobites. Hertel had a future once, but now he was just the damaged caretaker of a failing pet cemetery. And lately, he's been hearing things. Things that would lead him to an interesting discovery. An epic discovery. A lost civilization. Well, not lost so much as just misplaced. Misplaced and preserved since that great nuclear war that ended the world back in 1963. Only it turned out that the world didn't end in 1963 after all. But it wobbled on while that misplaced civilization stayed where it was back in 1963. Until Hertel Daggett found them and led them into our world, our glorious but often dismaying world. And in the process, he finds a past he never quite remembered, a love he'd never quite lost, and a future he'd never quite imagined. Dog logic.